Welcome back. It's Kristen and Emily with Making Math Make Sense. We are so excited to bring this game to you. We just created it here in the last couple of weeks, and we can't wait to share. It's on elapsed time. It's called racing time. So elapsed time is a concept that we get asked often from teachers, like, give me more support on this. How can I teach this better? What can I do for my students? And two big things that we talk about when we teach elapsed time is using that open number line and getting the kids to show the different parts that they're either going backwards or forward with elapsed time, and also using a number bond. Number bond is that red thread that we can use throughout lots of different concepts in mathematics. But the big switch is the idea in our life is base 10, and so we have 10 of something before we regroup. But with time, we need 60 minutes before we regroup to that next hour. So it's a difficult concept for kids. So Kristen and I were trying to think of a way, how can we get these kids engaged and excited about elapsed time? Here's where the game came into play. I cannot wait to play it with you guys because it is such a great game getting the kids to play while they're learning. And we have lots of hands-on manipulatives that we can do to get this game going.
All right, so I moved my blue car over here to the pit stop place, and I moved Emily's orange car over here. You can see we have made this where you can have up to 4 players playing at the same time. Now, this game is a lot better as a hands-on version where you can print out this racetrack, and then you can use either Matchbox cars or little erasers that you can get at the dollar store or Walmart. That would be their car that they move around this track. If you're doing this in person, I would try to have Judy clocks available for your students so they can change the time right here on their Judy clock. What we've given you here is the game board. You have the directions, and then for each player, you have a recording sheet for them to keep track of their time on. And then finally down here, you have the clocks where they will change the hands on the clock, and we'll demonstrate that for you with a couple turns that we're going to take. So I'm going to start by rolling the dice. When I roll my die, it gives me the number 2. So I need to move my blue card 2 spaces. When I move it 2 spaces, I see that I'm on the spot that says 25 minutes earlier. So on my recording sheet over here, my beginning time is 12 o'clock. My elapsed time is I have to subtract 25 minutes. So I'm just going to put minus 25 minutes, and I have to figure out what my ending time would be. Now, I might need to come down here to my clock first and use my hands to help me figure out. I have to go backwards 25 minutes, so I can count back 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and it's going to drag for me.
So to drag the arrow, you need to select the arrow, click on it, click on the arrow first.
Oh, that's what I did.
And now drag the blue circle.
There we go. 25 minutes. And then I know that I also need to move my hour hand, should be back before the 12. It should be about halfway, a little over halfway between that 11 and 12. So that gives me my time of 11:35 a.m. So I can come up here and fill that into my ending time. So my ending time is 11:35 a.m.
I love how you're adding that a.m., Kristen, because to win the game, you have to it's the first player to 6 p.m. So that a.m. p.m. really does matter on there. So make sure your students are adding that part on.
Now for Emily, she rolled a 2. I'm going to re-roll it so we can show you a different one. This time she rolled a 5. Obviously, if the kids were playing, we would have kept that 2, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and move her 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are at 15 minutes earlier. So we're going to come to her recording sheet. And what do I need to put here?
Minus 15 minutes, please.
And do you know your ending time?
I do. My ending time is going to be 11:45 a.m. And like Kristen mentioned, this game is phenomenal in person because the kids do have those clocks that they can physically manipulate. Doing it virtually, we have the hands that we can move back like you're seeing Kristen do. If you're in your classroom and you don't happen to have those Judy clocks, you can always print off a clock face, blow it up really big on your printer, and then put it in one of these dry erase packs and have the kids physically drawing it. whatever you can get them to do to become familiar with that clock face is very important.
All right, so I rolled another 2. I'm going to take my car and move it 2 spaces, and I landed on 60 minutes later. So now when I come back here to my game board, my beginning time now is 11:35 a.m. and I have just landed where I have to add 60 minutes or 1 hour, and I shouldn't be at equals. If I could type, that would be helpful. So I need to add 60 minutes. So my ending time is now 12:35 p.m. And I need to come down here and I need to make that on my clock. And I can just move my hour hand 1 hour. So it is now 12:35 p.m. on my clock. Again, you want to be the person who gets to that 6 o'clock or whatever you set as the ending time. Come back here to the game board. We'll let Emily take one last turn. She rolled a 2 as well, so I'll move her 2 spaces.
All right, so I get 30 minutes later. So my starting time is 11:45 a.m. this time, because you're just building from the time you had before. So we're going to go plus 30 minutes. And that's going to get me, and some kids need to take that 15 minutes from 11:45 and get them to 12 o'clock, and then they can do the other 15 minutes. Sometimes kids need to break your earlier or later time up into chunks to get them to the next 10-minute or get them to the next hour. That is okay. That's using their number sense, and we want them to use their number sense and make those connections. So my time is going to be 12:15.
And then we would continue to play from there. Like I said, you can play this game in person in your classroom using the manipulatives, and then this is the digital game you can send home with the kids and have them play this with their parents at home, virtually this way. Or if we're still in this e-learning time at the beginning of next school year, it's another great way that you can resource that you can use. This is one you can come back to throughout the entire school year as a way to keep working on that elapsed time skill. It's something that never goes away and kids always seem to struggle with. So we really hope you enjoy it as much as we do. We'd love to hear your comments if you play this with your students.
Yes, let us know. Thanks.